Have you ever felt loved, yet somehow everything felt wrong? The smile was there. The hug was warm. But your heart whispered, something's being hidden, something dark. This is the story never taught in school. About love that isn't love. About people who pretend to love for reasons far more dangerous than lies themselves. Because sometimes love isn't about the heart. It's about control. About who can make whom feel powerless. Those who pretend to love rarely look like monsters. They can appear perfect, gentle, patient, caring. But behind it all, there's a scenario they've scripted from the very beginning. Psychologists call it love manipulation. A kind of mind game played by people with high emotional intelligence but low empathy. They know exactly how to make you feel special. So that later, when they destroy you, you'll still blame yourself. You might think you're just being paranoid, but believe me, they're experts at hiding intent. They study your habits, your weaknesses, your past traumas. They collect all of it like ingredients for a psychological experiment. In the 20th century, there was a dark experiment called Project MK Ultra, a secret program researching how to control the human mind. Ironically, many people today have become test subjects in its modern version. Through love. They study your reactions. They test how far they can pull and push you without you truly leaving. They'll call you with a soft tone, then disappear without explanation. They'll give you hope, then slowly take it back, until you lose your sense of direction. And that's the first sign someone is pretending to love you. Planned inconsistency. Sometimes warm, sometimes cold. Sometimes attentive. Then suddenly indifferent. They make you believe that you're the problem. This is the most subtle form of manipulation. Emotional gaslighting. They twist reality until you start doubting your own instincts. You ask, am I being too sensitive? And they answer with a painful smile. You're just overthinking. But inside them lies a strange satisfaction. Watching you stumble, lose control, yet still love them. This kind of love isn't about affection anymore. It's about power. And the owners of fake love, are little rulers starving for validation. There's a dark psychological fact rarely discussed. People who pretend to love often come from a past full of wounds, and now they repeat the same pattern on others. As a silent act of revenge, they want to prove that this time they're in control, that this time they're the ones who can leave without guilt. They'll give you the world, only to take it back once you start believing. And when you cry, they'll look at you with an empty expression, because to them, your emotions are just a mirror, a reflection of how powerful they are. Have you ever wondered why someone can be so sweet at first, then suddenly turn cold for no reason? That's not change. That's the mask coming off. In dark psychology, there's a term called love bombing, a phase where someone showers you with excessive affection at the start. So you'll quickly depend on them. Messages every morning, compliments every hour, attention every second. They make you feel as if they can't live without you. But once you truly fall, they pull away, they vanish, and you spend days trying to understand why. Meanwhile, they quietly enjoy the chaos inside your heart. Why do almost everyone fall into this trap? Because we're all hungry for attention. We want to be trusted, desired, loved, and they know that. They use love as bait. There's a dark study from Cornell University stating that the human brain responds to love and fear in almost the same way. Through the same release of dopamine. That's why fake love feels like a roller coaster, up and down, addictive, draining, yet impossible to leave. And they know you'll come back. Even when you know it's wrong, because they're not just manipulative, they're addictive. Fake love is like a drug. It gives you temporary pleasure, but destroys you slowly until you no longer recognize who you are. They know when to praise, when to ignore, when to apologize just to repeat the same thing again. And every time you forgive, they become more certain that you've lost control. The next sign someone is pretending to love you, they always want you to depend on them. Emotionally, financially, even socially. They want you to feel like you have no one but them. It's a subtle form of isolation, often unnoticed. You think they're just being protective, but they're actually building a cage. And when you start realizing, they play the victim. Why are you changing? Why are you pulling away when I've always been here? They twist reality, forcing you to feel guilty for wanting freedom. This is the most terrifying kind of love. Love that makes you fear losing them, when what you truly fear is losing the version of yourself that was happy before they arrived. Sometimes, they even mimic emotions that should be genuine. They learn how to look caring. They copy expressions, tone, even empathy. It's all scripted. All fake experts call this emotional mimicry, the habit of manipulative people to imitate others' emotions to create an illusion of connection. And you, unknowingly, feel like they understand you, when in fact, they're just reflecting you back to yourself. Fake love doesn't always come with harsh words. Sometimes it comes with an "I miss you," but without feeling. With promises of a future, but no intention to fulfill them. And when you cry, they only say, "You're being too dramatic." Have you ever seen someone who stares at you while you talk? But their eyes are empty, as if they're evaluating, not listening. That's the gaze of an emotional predator, a gaze that doesn't want to understand. It wants to dominate. Another hidden fact: many people who pretend to love show traits of narcissism or mild psychopathy. They feel no guilt when lying. They believe they have the right to play with emotions for personal satisfaction. Human history is full of love stories that were actually wars for control. From Cleopatra's manipulation of power through charm, to modern tales of partners who use love for personal gain. Love, since ancient times, has always been a weapon, not a feeling, and the modern world has only refined its tactics. Now the game exists in chats, in emojis, in "I miss you" messages sent without meaning. They don't love you. They love the version of you they can use. Once that version is no longer useful, you're discarded, cold, silent, without explanation. Then they move on to the next target, carrying the same script, same words, same promises, and you're left behind, trying to interpret meaning from moments that were never real. Does it hurt? Of course, but there's a dark lesson behind it that true love never makes. You lose yourself. That someone who truly loves you will never make you small just to feel big. Pretending to love is the oldest art of manipulation in human history, and with each century, its form evolves, from letters to phone calls to text messages, yet the essence remains: control. So next time someone says, "I love you," look deeper than the words. Watch their smallest actions, how they react when you're no longer useful, and who you become when you're with them, stronger or more broken. Because fake love cannot survive under the light of truth. It only grows in confusion and fear. And if you've ever been a victim of fake love, remember this: you weren't too weak. You were just too sincere. In a world too skilled at pretending, they can deceive your feelings, but they can't deceive karma. Because every manipulation comes with a price, and sooner or later, they'll pay it. True love isn't a mind game. It needs no script. It never makes you feel guilty for wanting to be loved honestly. So open your eyes. Don't fall again for a smile full of secrets, or promises that sound sweet but mean nothing. Because sometimes the love you chase is the trap they've set for you. And after this, you'll never see the world or love the same way again.